No, the more you examine the application of physics of the Lord's Prayer, the more accountable for the dysfunction in our society is the scientist in relative terms than the philanthropist. Because the scientist has an obligation to present the most valid scientific applications to sustain, live life, and observe laws and stuff like that. The philanthropist has no obligation to be truthful. The philanthropist is full of shit. The philanthropist is a liar. But the philanthropist can't manipulate people. The philanthropist would rather die. So the scientist is held accountable to the truth more than the philanthropist. And if I was a scientist, I wouldn't be willing to have a robot kill me to pay for the philanthropist's crimes. So the scientist is held more accountable to the Lord's Prayer than the philanthropist. And the philanthropist has turned the Lord's Prayer and religion into mythology so they can manipulate people with philanthropy by getting them to accept things that are not valid, that cannot be substantiated by mathematics or applications of physics or natural law and so forth. So the scientist is held more accountable to making sure that the natural laws are communicated, understood, and obeyed than the philanthropist. The philanthropist is insane. And so if I was a scientist and I was building robots, I would make sure that the robot, protected me from the philanthropist rather than trying to protect the philanthropist. You cannot be a scientist and a philanthropist. You can only be a scientist. You can't be a philanthropist. Philanthropist is a human invention. It's based on fallacy and fantasy. Okay. So if you're a philanthropist, you are not a scientist. And if you're a scientist, you are not a philanthropist. Oh, Jesus, you're the best. Okay, so you cannot serve more than one master. Okay. So you can't use human invention to manipulate people with invention and obey natural laws that are substantiated and validated by science. So if you accept money for science, you're a philanthropist and you're not a scientist because you've accepted the fallacy of philanthropy over the applied physics of science. Doop, doop, doopy, 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 doop, doop. Little Amy in her little dancing thing, little French elf dancing outfit. But yeah, so, oh gosh. It feels just so good to think about living the Lord's Prayer worldwide. Picking up a phone and sharing it, and then once we're living it, then I don't have to pick up the phone and go, shit face fuck shit. Got the shittiest fuckiest goddamn shitty fucky kids and the whole shitty fucky goddamn shitty fucky world. Okay. Old Mary poop. See my Mary Ann walking away. So yeah. So apparently we're still waiting for artificial general intelligence and quantum computing to be able to do things as courageously, kindly, and intelligently as the Messiah. Hi, I happen to be the Messiah. Okay. And if you disagree with that, philanthropist. You're funny. But yeah, it's true. So, okay. I was watching the basketball game and the kids trying to win the basketball game, and stuff. And guys, when you play ball and you get somebody in a vulnerable position when you're on offense, don't try to make contact to engage in more points in the play. You're only going to get somebody hurt. This is for exercise. I know it's part of the coaching. It's just bad coaching. Okay, don't do anything to win. Money's not real. It's exercise. Be healthy. Share, care, give, and accordance to need, built to last, right? So when that's why I always, the coach, Treviso, you're going to do that. No, why? Because I'll hurt him. And I do not want to hurt him. I'm not going to hurt somebody else's child and hurt myself trying to get you a job at New Mexico State to make more money at a institution of higher learning to play basketball to be healthy, which ain't healthy. It's like Grandmaster Flash's grandmother watching too much TV, right? It's just not healthy. I can't wait. I look forward to having a nice place built to last, no extortion, no exploitation, candlelit parties every day with people that, Dad doesn't really have candlelit parties with me. Dad reads those people's books all the time. He's told, Val that, he read that one lady's book 36 times. Yeah. Oh, I could not do that. That would drive me insane. Amy and James went to go watch Dumb and Dumber. I've watched movies over and over with kids because they like cartoons, and it's an entertainment to. I've watched lots of cartoons a lot of times, I've seen, and I still can if there's other kids that want to watch it. Like if you have grandkids and can watch, Cruella de Vil, Cruella de Vil. I mean, the premise of it, though, I don't know. Will we still be watching those with our grandkids even when we're living the Lord's Prayer? I don't know. That's really not the most important question. The important question is when are we going to live the Lord's Prayer? So then we can decide to watch 101 Dalmatians or not to watch 100 Dalmatians. Now, what was they were, okay, and this the whole thing, and what was the dog skin coat things for? I don't know, because she was going to make them. She wasn't going to sell them, right? Because there was only 101 puppies that she was going to have killed and made into dog skin coats, right? So that is, she wasn't going to sell, she was just making it for herself, because it was puppy furs, right? And 101, puppy furs, you'd need, if you get them and they're small, and you sew them all together with the best parts, and you wouldn't use the parts with so it'd be this. So yeah. So she just liked the fur on the puppies and wanted the fur on her coat, right? So that's when you sit down. That's a kid's movie. I know it's kind of creepy though, isn't it? Isn't it though? Stream me on Hulu. I'd rather not. When I sit and think about it, you can see why the kids want Pongo and Purdy to rescue the puppies from Cruella and Jasper and Horace and Jasper. Is that it? Yeah. That's just really weird, all that effort. Well, she's got lots of money. Okay, she's a philanthropist. Okay. Where's the scientific, dogs cost money. And if you kill the dogs and use their fur for a coat, you're keeping Cruella warm in comfy furs. You don't have to pay money to feed the dogs. Okay, but dogs don't really cost money. Okay, so what about feeding the dogs? Okay, this is, what a good, wow. Let's apply the physics of this and then try to understand it and teach it and obey the natural laws in physics. Wow. So he makes lots of money selling the Cruella de Vil song to be able to pay extortion for the dogs and feed the dogs. Have you noticed with those dog commercials too and stuff? These people, I've noticed that a lot with them. Okay. I'm the Messiah. Okay. And there are people that go to church every Sunday in this valley and pray to Jesus to go to a magic heaven in the sky to live with him. And they treat their dog better than they treat me. And I'm the only one standing up to live the commands of Jesus Christ. Neither them nor their dog are. Right. Well, that's crazy. Yeah. But they got better science projects than I do. Are you sure it's a better science project than what I got? Okay, I wouldn't put up a satellite to manipulate you with money and then threaten to kill everybody that tried to take away my capacity to do so. Okay, now if we were living the Lord's Prayer, would we have satellites to stream 101 Dalmatians on Hulu? Would life be better without Cruella de Vil or with Cruella de Vil? That song made Roger a lot of money. Perdita, that's her name. It's Perdita, right? Perdita, no. There's Purdy and Pongo. And I can't remember. Isn't it a Perdita? Did she name the dog after her? I don't know. I haven't seen that movie in a long time. Did I remind you that they kidnapped the kids in 2012 Easter weekend? Have I watched that movie since? I don't know if I have. I don't think I have. It's been 6 months, 8 days, 12 hours since you went away. I miss you so much that I don't know what to say. I should be over you. I should know better, but it's just not the case. I think a lot of these people with their tech support and these mega mogul celebrities and stuff like that, if they know who I am, I may not be as strong as they think I am. I just can endure psychotic, aggressive, sick, disgusting abuse without becoming a result of that sick, disgusting abuse and being a selfish person. I'm not going to let anything disturb my namaste. I worked hard for my namaste. I worked hard for this mansion and all these dogs and the best dog food in the world for my dog. Yeah. Being a really good person in the bowels of hell is a 24/7 job. 8 days a week. No, there's no 8 days a week. 7 days a week. Well, depending on how I don't know. Like with my brother-in-law, when he had those psychopaths at his church, try to psychoanalyze me. What day of the week is it? I don't know. It's spring break and the kids aren't at school, so I haven't really been paying attention to the days of the week. I've just been enjoying the kids. I'm weird like that. Do you know what year it is in China? That's what I asked. Because he was saying, that they say that a lot of schizophrenics don't know what day of the week it is. I rarely sometimes forget what day of the week it is. Me and Dad do that all the time because, we kind of, we know, we pay attention to garbage day, which is Wednesday. So Tuesday, I got to put out the garbage can. He knows when Sunday is, and I have to make sure I know when Sunday is too, because if you do something that he doesn't think should be done on Sundays, it's like those guys in the Mormon church that you're like, oh, just let the kid shoot the basket. He's a kid. It's Sunday. Yeah. He's keeping it holy. He's being a good kid. Just shoot the basket. Okay. We don't do that on Sundays. So what do you do on Sundays? And I remember trying to explain to him, what do you do if the house catches fire on Sunday? Do you not get up and try to put the fire out because you're keeping the Sabbath holy? He tells me I'm being blasphemous when I get like that. But it's like, I don't think that self-righteous hypocrisy from a bunch of jack Mormons with a lot of money and no idea what's whack and what's dope and have the worst science projects in the history of science projects, because if we were living in the Lord's Prayer, would we have these science projects? He gets frustrated with me. You act just like your mother. No, because I had to explain myself to my mom. Okay. Earl? Well, Mom, let me explain. I constantly had to explain myself to my mother. And then she'd get mad at me and say I should be a genius and be one of the richest, most influential people in the world. And then I say, I don't want to do that. I want to live a religious life. You're being a religious just like your father. Well, he always accuses me of being like you. Damn. Seems I can't win for losing. Why is shit so confusing? Yesterday fades away, becomes another memory. Peaceful living, wonder someone is thinking of a change. I'm not thinking of a change. No. Jesus gave you the commands of the Lord's Prayer at Calvary a long time ago. Okay. How has that changed? That's something we're all cognizant of. That's something we're all aware of. That's something how many of us throughout the world, especially scientists, know, hey, we think this, speak this, and apply it in physics. Zang! Right? Life will be really good, even if it's like that outside. Yeah, because you'll build better places than those little temporary rudimentary shelters that you're in there going, I'm freezing my ass off, I'm trending, and this place, hell. Hell? Been there, done that. This is also a lot like Phoenix and Seattle and Denver and El Paso and a bunch of big extortion, exploitation buildings that are strictly, as many times it says in the Quran, that you should not do. Don't do this. Don't build buildings devoted to manipulation through idolatry and call it religious. And Notre Dame. Yeah. I don't ever want to go to Notre Dame. I don't ever want to go to St. Peter's Basilica. I didn't want to go visit I went to the temple in Mesa because I was needing some help with my wife because she needed people around that had good morals to keep her out of the bar and running around and screwing around. What happened? Now I realize she would work people in the Church of Latter-day Saints, of Jesus Christ, whatever, and stuff the same way she'd work people at the bar and online. What do you do? I'm a victim. This person ran my children out and makes me raise kids from people he has sex with at the bar. Wait, no, that's her with me. I'm not a victim. No, what I don't mind raising kids. I just don't like raising Cane's chicken fingers and then selling it for money. But oh fuck. Look, all I want to do, okay. No, I'm not Teddy Riley. All I want to do is zoom, and a boom, boom. No. The girls on that video were very sexually desirable to me when I was young, and I didn't get enough sex because I was manipulated by espionage units in my house. They made my sex life horrible. But no, I just, all I ever wanted was just, true fellowship, to live a faithful, holy covenant and pass it on to my kids. Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. I'm always forgiving them, Jesus. But by now they should know what they do. We have quantum computing. We have artificial general freaking intelligence there. By now they should figure that, I forgive them, but back then, yes, forgive them today. Today, okay, they should know what they're doing. And they should know that forgive and trespass, love one, eternal, faithful peace is the right application of physics to save us from murdering each other with our own inventions because we're clinically insane. Okay? There's no excuse for being Pope Leo today. There's no excuse for being President Trump and Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin and Zelensky and Netanyahu. There's no excuse for being these people. There's no excuse for being Mark Zuckerberg. There's no excuse for being having contracts to have a virtual presence in people's houses and say, we're keeping people safe from sexually marketing kids until they're old enough to sexually market themselves, and you can make a lot of money off of them selling products sexually marketing themselves on your social media site, right? So as long as they're 18 and above, and it's their money, and you make money off of them making their money, it's all right. Okay. However they ended up getting there, that's none of your business, because it's protected by the Constitution, right? According to the Sea Org, right? It's a long way home to Starwood and Aspen, sweet Rocky Mountain. But there's lots of aspens on Baldy. When the leaves change, you can see the aspens on Baldy up in Santa Fe. Yeah, it's pretty. There's yellow and orange. Those ones are yellow and those ones are what? Orange. Are you sure they're orange? Yeah, they're orange. I'm going to kill him. That was so funny. Oh. Man, I'm tired. But, my thing is, when I pick up this phone, it has nothing, I don't want to pick it up as much, but I know I got to be consistent and I got to keep talking. And I know they're always, oh, no. They're always trying to keep one step ahead of each other with their computer or whatever they're doing. I can't tell you. I am not insane. Okay. I can't tell you what the Pentagon and NASA are doing with Donald Trump and XI, and that guy who was with Stephen Bartlett, I predicted this. I can't tell you what he's thinking. I'm like, okay, you do know money is not real. Okay, and then the economy, and then the resources to build robots to keep the economy going, and then feed people with the. Okay, it's listening to an insane person talk. It's painful. It's like, really. When someone tempted you, you were so inclined, and I'll bet love and honor never crossed your mind. Love and honor, a promise to obey. Sacred vows we both made yesterday. But when someone tempted you, you were so inclined. That song reminded me of my second wife. First wife? Yeah, her too. And fiance? Mm-hmm. you know. And I'll never forget that, man. I would turn down the hottest women in all of Pope Air Force Base. Go home and call law. And you're an emotional cripple. I'm an emotional cripple. Okay. You go out all dressed up and have the guys hit on you and then shoot them down if you're not interested. You make me go out to get used to you going out. The women hit on me because I'm the nicest person there with the most class. And I turned them down because I said, no, I'm engaged to a girl in Arizona who's out, getting back at guys and dressing up nice and turning down the losers and hitting it with the guys she thinks might be able to replace me because he wants to make more money and he might just be hotter, and then saying, oh, no, he's not. He's more attractive. He's got a bigger penis, but he screws around and has got 2 other girlfriends, so I'm going to keep Earl. It's like, wow. Wow, that was real nice of you. Yeah, it was horrible. It sucked, man. It was terrible, man. She had a military mindset, She was raised by her mother. Her dad was not that way. No, her dad was, you make a commitment, you honor that commitment, and then you stay with someone that can keep commitments to you. Because the best treasure you can have in life is someone that you can trust. Okay, because you're trustworthy, and then raising your kids to be like that, so they don't end up getting screwed by ambitious people by their own ambition. Chief and Kay were very different people. She did the same thing, and Alice and all of them did. I don't know if they got that from Ollie. I can't tell you. I think Ollie was more, like Michelle. Because I loved Ollie so much, Ollie was more like Michelle. What's the sense in sharing this one and only life? Ending up just another military wife. You count up the years and they will be filled with tears. They'll give you a discount on daycare and say go get a job. You'll try to raise your kid, but they'll still call you a slob because they've got a degree and you don't, and they raise kids better than you do, they say every day. Then they say your kid has some kind of mental disability. They'd like to medicate him and maybe give him electroshock therapy, so the professionals can make their money at the Texas Tech Medical Center. Young hearts, run free. Don't never be fucked up like my man and me. My man and me. Watch Oprah all the time, eat bonbons, and quote Ken Burns. Tell the person getting his degree, trying to study history, to not make the same mistakes that Ken Burns knows all about history, and him and Oprah can fix it if you just eat enough bonbons and buy all the stuff on their show. Just like don't take it away. What are you going to do? Stand on the sidewalk with a pistol in one hand and a pair of others. Stay there my whole life because I can't make up my mind whether or not I'm going to cut across the alley or shoot across the road. Right? That's what Stephanie did. She got the equivalent of how many associate's degrees because she couldn't make up her mind what she wanted to do, but she was being able to put in for student loans. And they would give her the money. So she'd live off the student loan money. And I was like, okay, but Steffi, me and Law paid off your Al Collins stuff. Okay. While I was in the military and Law was, okay. Because your mom consolidated the loan and made Law pay it off because she didn't want you to go. And Kay made you go. Kay was... Trish's argument was if she ain't sure what she wants to do, let her go to community college and it's a buttload cheaper. Then she can go to college and make up her mind. And Kay's thing was like, she ain't ever going to make up her mind. So Kay was right. So she was like, you're going to go do this. But Trish's thing was, can't she do art? Yeah, but Al Collins has better connections. If you're a good artist, you can go to GCC and go to ASU and get art gigs at places the same way as if you went to Al Collins. You don't need that, you know what I mean? It could cost a lot less, and that was Trish's thing, and then she might find something else she wanted to do on the way. Don't rush her, be careful how you touch her, for she'll awaken. Sleep's the only freedom that she knows. But the thing is, yeah, it was hard. It was very hard. I love women, okay? I love women more than any other man on the planet right now that I have access to. Well, because I'm the living embodiment of the Lord's Prayer and no one else is joining me publicly on a public forum. because they're afraid of all the people in the military that will kill you. Their fate's worse than death. Yeah, they think that. There's nothing worse than taking Michelle and Marianne away. Okay. Guys, once they kill somebody, you can't wake up in the morning next to them and say, how you feeling, hon? Oh, yes. I look across his smiling lips and know that I found my morning sun. You're welcome. And if that's not loving me, then all I've got to say, God didn't make little green apples and it don't rain in Indianapolis in the summertime, right? You know what I'm saying? So, when, if there's someone out there that thinks she loves me and wants to live the Lord's Prayer with me, and she can help me do it better than just about any other woman in the world, because lots of people know who she is, right? If they kill me tomorrow, you're not going to be able to get little green apples with me till I'm 104, maybe more, in the Healer and Eureka. Hallelujah, brother. No, sitting there going, aren't the redwoods beautiful? Let's go walk hand in hand by the sea, and you turn to me with a kiss in your eyes, and my heart will feel a thrill beyond compare. Beyond compare, I swear. This, I swear, is true. I don't have happiness, and I guess I never will ever again. Since you walked out on me and walked on misery, and he's been here since then. Anybody else like Jimmy Beaumont and the Skyliners? I don't have love to share, and I don't have one who cares. I don't have anything, since I don't have you. So I do miss the kids immensely. I miss Patrick immensely. Okay. I do not miss being abused. I do not miss being neglected. Okay. I am being abused and neglected every day by the worst, selfish, apathetic perverts in the history of the world, with a bunch of science projects and no idea what's whack and what's dope, and more money than Davy Crockett, but Davy Crockett is Fess Parker, and your lunch boxes are no good here no more. You know what I'm saying? Why are you getting indoctrinated to sell products? Because I'm insane. I know, crazy Eddie, knock it off. You're going to be held accountable. You already are held accountable. Sin is sin, and you're accountable to the sin immediately. And heaven is its own reward immediately. You stand up for the Lord's Prayer, you live it. Instant rewards. Pow. You're in the company of faithful, truthful, loving people. This, I swear, is true, right? Yeah. Well, we're not getting this. I swear it's true. We're still, since I don't have you, I'm not going to be able to get tickets to be behind Clemente in right field during the World Series. It was a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Yeah, it was. Someday soon. Gonna be living the Lord's Prayer someday soon. I'm working on it, man. Why? Because I love you. Okay. And we don't have to pay the bills, so we can listen to Stevie B. That doesn't mean we have to ask for money to listen to it, or that will be, hey, you owe me money, you owe me $1. Okay. I owe you $1. Okay, I'm going to draw you a picture of Richie Rich's dog. There you go. I gave you $1. Okay. I love you too. Okay, guys. We'll talk later. I'm going to load this one up. I'm going to go out and get my hoops up in the barn. Peace out, man.